On our event, we're going to see a concert, and we're going to see Metallica live. Now, yeah, I totally tricked my wife. You know, I played the slow song.
Oh, I like that song. It's not so scary.
Yeah, see? They changed. They evolved.
So we get to the show, all right? And we get there, we sit out, I forget. I'm domesticated now. She's like, is there a brochure? I'm like, all right. We're looking around the stadium, brochure, whatever. Now, here's when you know you're too old to be going to concerts. First of all, the name of the bands is already a tragic mistake. Here's the openers. Are you ready for this? Just the names. Anthrax, Megadeth, and Slayer. Okay, all right. Did you hear? All right. You hear that? You hear that? You hear that? Let me tell you something about Slayer fans. That was the scariest time of my life when the Slayer fans showed up. That's the first time I feared my own race. I'm not even kidding you. I feared my own race. They looked like the extras from Lord of the Rings. Right before Slayer came out, someone came out and...
Release the Slayer fans.
They came out of nowhere, under the ground, tattooing their faces.
Slayer! We're here to witness Slayer!
And I'm hovering my wife, like, everything's gonna be okay. We're only gonna be on for like 15 minutes. Slayer, Slayer! We're gonna be safe. So Slayer's about to go on right before Metallica. The lights go out. Now, I forget I'm domesticated, so when the lights go out of show, I still get that giddy feeling. The show's starting. Because I'm used to, you know, beauty and the why are they so mean to the beast?
They don't get better, Daddy.
So, so the lights go out, and I hear, and is there a train coming? And I turn around, and there's about 500 Slayer fans, and they're heading right for the stage, and they're not using the aisles to get there. Chairs are being flung, people flying up in the air. I looked at my wife like, every man for himself. You know?
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. I got news for you, pal. You ain't leading but two things right now. Jack and shit. Jack left town. Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
What was that ruckus? What ruckus? I was just in my office and I heard a ruckus.
Describe the ruckus, sir.
Does this mean we're not friends anymore?
Not me. I'm in my prime. That ain't mine. Ain't it cool?
First you want to kill me, now you want to kiss me. Blow. Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
What up, everyone? DJ Anubis.
And DJ Neko.
Here with you on the Metal Time Radio podcast, doing another Classic Reflections. How are you doing?
It's been a week. Everything that's going on with work and the grind and the bullshit, and then, we are in Baltimore, so the tragedy of the Key Bridge sucks.
Yeah.
But, we're kind of in an area, it's called southeastern, literally. We're southeastern Baltimore, and that is what the Key Bridge connected the southeastern part of Baltimore to the rest of, the world. The only other way that we can get to shit is driving into the city and then taking the other main highways or driving through the city. Now, what that has done to me is I already work, 10-hour days anyway, and in the morning, it's not so bad. I got up, I got my gas, I got my Red Bull this morning, I get on the highway, and it's boom, bam, boom, I'm there in 30 minutes. That's the average, what I used to take going to work. Every day this week, it has been 1 hour and 15 minutes to 2.5 hours to get home since the issue with the bridge, and I'm trying to, deal with it.
It's like we didn't quite get out of Baltimore fast enough, because this is going to take about 3 to 5 years to try to repair this bridge. So this is going to be an ongoing problem. Because remember, you had just gone out on boats, I think, and they were doing all that bridge work, and they were shutting down. It was like traffic all the time going over the bridge.
Oh, that's right, because the bridge is always being maintained.
Yeah.
It was, if you hear any shit about it, the bridge was always being maintained. It's just the type of bridge that it is it's an archway.
Yeah.
And because it has 2 main supports,
once you hit one,
and honestly, that ship was massive. I've been next to them on the ships that I used to work on, and they're massive next to the ship that I worked on. So it was something unprecedented at all.
Yeah.
And
when people are talking, they're like, when they go to repair, just make a brand new one. Because, time has passed, technology's better.
It's been up. My parents were.
It was started in 72 and finished in 75, I think.
No, it was 77 or 79. I can't remember. They announced it was its 40th birthday, right before the bridge collapsed. It was crazy. My parents.
Happy birthday.
My parents told me. I guess, I'm trying to do the shady math, because it was still fairly new when I was a baby. My mom and dad, they said, that's what you used to have to do. That's why they used to be in, Baltimore a lot more, in the city, because they lived in this area where we are. But, to work and stuff, it was you had to go into the city, or you had to go into the city and take the highways through the city. And it was such a big deal, because connecting, us to the rest of the world without having to, and when I say going through the city, it's not it's just congested. The city's going to hell right now, and 1,000 stoplights. For me to get on the bridge, there were 0 traffic lights. I just zip on to the main highway and be on my way, where now I have a minimum, I think it's
you should understand,
7 traffic lights. 10 actually.
Trailers and stuff that.
Yeah, they can't go through the tunnels. A lot of tractor trailers are too big to go through the tunnels, or they're carrying hazardous loads.
Yep, so they have to go 895, which is a smaller bridge, 2-lane bridge, and so congestion just builds up, and especially on certain days, because I'm assuming Monday and Fridays are big traveling days for tractor trailers. So.
And on top of that, you've got all these people like myself, on top of the people
who
regularly.
Got to the summer yet.
Yeah.
When they go to beaches and shit, because that's going to be a pain in the ass.
Regularly traveled, yes, because that bridge connected to Anne Arundel County, which then connected into southern Anne Arundel County, which connected to the Eastern Shore, and that people, when they went to travel to the beach, that's the way that they went.
Yep.
And you got tons of people just like me who use that to commute, and then the regular commuters using the other highways, it's a shit show. When I have my work Fridays, I'm off every other Friday, but I work today, and I leave at 3:30. Well, that's because I get there at 7 o'clock every morning, and I left, boom, zipped out the door at 3:30, and I get all the way down to the city from where I am, and then you sit for 30 minutes because it's so congested to get through the tunnel. And I know I shouldn't be bitching about my commute when people lost their lives, but this is going to be a huge impact, not just with the death of the 6 construction workers who were working on the bridge that evening, but the Baltimore port gets ships every day. Not just container ships, but they get all types of ships, fuel ships, cruise. We have a cruise terminal. My old company had ships that came in and out of there. And there's a lot of people who are longshoremen or crane operators or heavy equipment operators. It's going to be interesting to see how long it takes before the actual port is operational again.
Yeah, so needless to say, it's
been a hell of a week.
As people that have to work and transport and commute. But the album I chose for this Reflections is a good one to listen to when you're trying to get the stress out.
Oh, really? What is it, baby?
We are going with 1989's Laaz, Rockit's Annihilation Principle. Excuse me.
Now, I can tell you this. I've never listened to it from beginning to end ever, so this is going to be a first for me, and that's going to be fun.
Yep. So they are a band, American thrash band from San Francisco, formed in 1981. This album in particular, this is a band that kind of crossed over different genres in their career, from heavy metal to power metal to thrash metal, but this era around the late 80s was more thrash oriented, and this record is very much thrash and one of my favorite thrash albums ever. So they were also notable in the South Bay area as the Big Six, and it was among other bands like Exodus, Testament, Death Angel, Forbidden, and Violence. So, the Bay Area was a big hotspot for thrash in the 80s, and eventually when Metallica was out of LA, they ended up going up to the Bay Area because that's where the scene was. So it was a big hotspot for thrash metal back then. On this particular record, because they have had some members like come and go, some passed away more recent years, but on this record we had Michael Coons on vocals, Phil Kettner on guitars, Aaron Jellum on guitars, Victor Agnello on drums. He passed away in 2014 from leukemia, I believe.
Oh my God.
And then Willie Lang on bass, who passed away in 2018 after a motorcycle accident. So rest in peace, those guys. Now, this band, they had been on kind of like a hiatus after about the early to mid 90s, and they kind of just taken a break. And then about 2008, they reunited in 2005, I think, and in 2008 they released Left for Dead, which was a very solid record. But then they kind of went dormant again. That's, of course, when some of the members passed away. But apparently the band isn't really listed as disbanded, so like they could be working on more material. I don't know. Sometimes I thought I had read that they were just going to disband because, without the original members, it wasn't really worth doing, but who knows. But here we are 15 years later or so I don't know if they've, because everybody gets older and it's tougher to kind of keep that energy up.
And plus the style of music that they are and the scene that they were in, 1989, in my mind, I'm like, oh, that's only like 10 years ago, but let's take a step back. It's 2024 now.
Yeah. And the thing is that we know Norman, who's now the singer of Forbidden. So they're playing Maryland Death Fest this year, so that's going to be a lot of fun. I saw Forbidden way back in the day with the original singer Russ, but with Norman, I've known him for a few years now from Niviani and his solo work. So great frontman, great singer, and so I'm excited to see him with classic.
I know.
But I mean, I would love to see Laaz find a way to get some members in there and come back and play Maryland Death Fest. That would be so awesome, because Maryland Death Fest has a lot of different stuff going on. It's mainly a death festival, but it has these special appearances by these bands that oftentimes will either do a specific album in their catalog, or they'll have like a band that's sort of kind of reunited for a little while and come out and just showcase on the Maryland Death Fest.
But we can think about the bands that we've seen that necessarily are not death, but they're metal.
Well,
you know,
it's branched out since their early years of the festival.
I mean,
so
there was a time like this festival is so big that we have friends in other countries to come visit us. When it first started, I remember he and I were, I think it was when we were living in our apartment, and you're like, hey, let's go check out this Maryland Death Fest. It's down at, I forgot the name of that shitty ass bar too.
Yeah, Thunderdome.
Thunderdome.
Yeah.
And it's in a horrible part of town, and we've been there before.
Man, it was very small.
It was so small. It was a one-day thing, and I said, I am not driving down to Thunderdome where there's nowhere to park. I'm going to park my car on the street. It'll get stripped by the time I'm out there. A bunch of, homeless people. No, we're not going. I'm not wasting my time. And then maybe 4 years later, that's when they had it at Sonar, and that's when it started like really picking up. And the Sonar days, in my mind, were just great memories, right? Like now it's gotten to the point where it's so huge that they've got it in our major like concert venues, which is fine. But those Sonar days, man, where you had it in the parking lot and it was just like one stage, I have a special nostalgic feel for that because that was 2008.
8 and 9, yeah.
That we, a couple of our friends from out of town came to stay. We had only been in our home for about 2 years, so we were still really young, and they were all young, and people are just like sleeping on the couch and sleeping on the futons. It was just like, it felt like what a bunch of 20-somethings do. We were the only married people. We were, everybody.
It was a big party.
It was, oh God, we stayed up all night all the time. Oh.
But, this record, along with the one previously, Know Your Enemy, was really kind of like a couple of, like, they really started saying a lot about war issues and politics and stuff like that. This album also has a Dead Kennedys cover, which we'll get to eventually. But, yeah, so let's get rolling here. First track up, this is the one they did a video for the record, and it's called Fire in the Hole.
Ooh.
Living in custody and no control, how stars. You're trapped in the
that fucking ripped.
Yeah. Great opener.
You know what? It's something that we forget nowadays because of the way music is kind of like developed and formed. People are looking for singles now. Mm-hmm. You know, a single was just like a sampling off of your album, but artists, I would say up until maybe like 2010, 2015, they wanted a complete album. They really thought about the order of their songs. They thought about like how this would present to their listeners. So they would be like, boom, this is my opening. And it's almost like, you know, when you go to a concert or a show, they kind of formulate what songs they're playing because they want to get you hyped up at the beginning, and then they kind of put in a little bit of variety, and then the end, you know, is always going to be a banger because you want like their hits, their best of their best. Even when we went to see Iron Maiden, they were playing the whole Seventh Son of a Seventh Son album, but they did not. They played Number of the Beast. They played Wasted Years. Wasted Years. That was their whole like closing like 30 minutes was their hits, and that was a hell of a concert. We had Alice Cooper opening up. He did all his hits, and then he did the whole decapitate himself thing. Great stage show. And then we got Iron Maiden, and of course, you know, they did the entire album, but they didn't disappoint. They put in the hits for us too.
Yep. Yeah, and you know, it's one thing you kind of worry because at one point at Ozfest, they didn't really want to play the hits. You know, they were talking about we have so much more material we want to play, which is true. But you know, people do go to concerts to see you play the songs that they're familiar with.
Well, we went to see Judas Priest multiple times in like a couple year period.
Plays their hits.
But they play for 3 hours.
Yeah, that's a real concert. Like, truthfully, for me, when it comes to concerts, I'd rather just see like a headliner and like one opener, like we did with Ghost. Because Ghost played almost everything off those first 3 records, and then they just had one band open. I was like, that's good enough. Because you know that means you're putting the work in. Like,
and that was Iron Maiden and Priest too. Yeah. I forgot who opened for Iron Maiden, but I think it was Queensryche. Was it
Maiden?
Yeah, not Maiden. Priest.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it was Queensryche, but it was like, it was like a quick, you know, like they both.
Yeah, and the thing is, you don't want to, because see, if you're worried about time, because bands like that have been around forever, they're going to play like 2.5 to 3 hours, so you're going to definitely want them to have that time allotted. If you got too many bands,
how was Slayer?
Slayer was great. Which is funny because that was
supposedly their farewell tour, but aren't they coming back? Aren't they going to do another tour?
I have no idea, but you know, Motley Crue says they keep going away and they keep coming back. But Cannibal Corpse, that was the funniest thing. They played literally for 10 or 15 minutes and they were done. Like, I mean, it was great to hear Hammer smash face, but it's like, dude, they were like on and off. But you had Lamb of God, Amon Amarth, just like
I was on a boat. Anthrax?
No. Shit. How am I forgetting this?
Cannibal Corpse, Amon Amarth.
I said Lamb of God, right?
Lamb of God.
Yeah, that's who that was. But
and I don't think I've ever seen Lamb of God either.
I've seen them like 2 or 3 times. We saw did.
When did we see them? Were they
Ozfest probably? Because
that's right. I think
they were the year that Cradle of Filth was there.
That was a good show too.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I feel like we were starved for like a big concert because we, over the years, have really kind of scaled back on a big concert. That was 2000.
That's really became the thing that we've been doing the last 15 years.
And
so
honestly, too, like, 2019 was it 2019 or was it? Yeah, it was 2019. Was the Slayer, and then what happened in 2020? Everything shut down for 2 years. So now it's hard. They're really trying to get the word out. Like last year, bands were trying to tour again, and
that was always the problem because bands rely on the tours and the vendors and stuff because they don't get a lot from management because those sales that happen with the CDs and stuff go right to the management and the label.
And a lot of times when it is a larger
but they
venue,
charge you, dude. Those shirts were not cheap.
I know. I have mine upstairs. Thank you.
Fucking nuts.
But they
were almost $40 to $50 a piece.
Yeah, for a T-shirt.
Yeah, I'm like, Jesus Christ.
But you think about it, like, you know, Iron Maiden. and all these other bands, like you can even go into pop bands. Like think about the kind of shit that like Michael Jackson and Prince and like even nowadays like with Taylor Swift, the shit that they take with them like to do these world tours, and the expense it is on them to get their shit over there. I mean, Iron Maiden has their own plane. You know, I know some of them had their own planes too.
That's the thing, like, you know, you and I, we go to like a lot more smaller venues now for bands, like a lot of local friends and stuff. So,
and that's the idea, you know.
Well, one, you're supporting them, but two, it's like much cheaper. You can pay like, even if you have like 4 or 5 bands, it's like $15 to $20. Like it's nothing.
And we're getting ready May the 12th to see our friends in Desolus to do their album release.
I'm so excited for them.
I'm very proud of them.
Fucking, I don't know if you saw the post, but John and Nomos, they're getting ready to go to Japan.
Good for them, and they're gonna be great in Japan. Like
Japan has a lot of diehard fans. Like they love metal over there. So
I am so excited for all of our friends who've been grinding for these years to, like, you know, get into these shows, and they travel in their van, and their van breaks down, and then their trailer is all fucked up, and they just sleep in the van, or they sleep in like a shitty motel every 3 days, and it's insane the amount of work that they put into it. And then, you know, when we were talking to Chris the other day, he's part of Nomos, but he's also part of what do you call it?
Condemn the Infected.
Thank you, Condemn the Infected. And they're a great band too, but it's like life gets in the way. You know, you're trying.
It's that plus, like, really, because he and the singer, they're really the only 2 guys in the band, I think, at the moment. Henry is part of it, but
he can't, like, and
Henry's a major part of Nomos. So, like, you go where basically the band that's touring and doing all the work, that's where you stay. That's
Henry's
where
like the drummer. Like,
the funny thing is, like, it's so weird because Nomos has gone through a couple bassists, and you keep thinking they're going to find the guy that's going to stick, but Chris has always been that guy that ends up coming back.
He just comes back, he's like, okay, I'll pick it up.
He's a hell of a bassist and actually a hell of a guitarist, so, like, you know, I'm happy for him too. You know, it's nice to see him and the lady. Hadn't seen him in a while, but yeah, so I mean, it's just good to see these guys getting, you know, their just due, because they are a great band. They put out their debut record about a year or 2 ago.
They've really found their sound. They've really found their groove. They've got a really great, you know, atmosphere.
A good following. They were at MDF last year.
And then
for the first time, so that was a lot of fun. They actually packed that house. Like,
yeah, they did,
because they were the first band to play,
and that's hard to do on the opening night of the festival. Yeah. And, you know, we're seeing Desolus following in their footsteps. They're really, you know, and it's funny because I forget that they're so young, because they're like, they could be our child.
But the thing is, like, Vivek, you know, he's a
fucking pilot.
He's a pilot for planes. He can fly planes.
I'm so proud of all of them, and that's why we go to the small shows.
Yep.
Because that is intimate.
Well, anyway, this second track, Mob Justice, is my favorite off the album.
I know this song.
She knows this one. I've always put it on her my little
compilations.
Yeah. So yeah, here let's go. Track 2, Mob Justice.
Look
It's mob justice.
Yeah.
That's like one of the. It's one of your songs. Like
yeah, it's always a go-to. It's probably one I put on that disc where they had the Painkiller on there, and you're saying, "Have you heard Painkiller before?"
Oh my god. I'm sure we've told this story, but yeah,
times.
he was just so happy to have met me. Oh god, that sounds really arrogant, but when we first met, he didn't realize that I was into metal. He didn't realize that I liked kung fu and Godzilla and horror movies and stuff. He just thought I was this nice, prim and proper, like, girly girl, which I am to a point, but I have my, dark side. And
dark side.
I appreciated every song he sent me. And I remember on our first date, I got into his vehicle, and I think it was Sepultura was playing Brutes Bloody Roots, and I was like, oh, is this Sepultura? And he just like did a double take at me, and
you know Sepultura?
I'm like, and he's looking at me, and I remember exactly what I wore for our first date. It was this pink like top. Nothing special. It's just a plain pink top and a pair of capri jeans. And then I wore, I don't know if you guys are probably guys, but they're these wooden shoes that have leather straps. And I used to wear super high heels all the time when I was younger. And they're called candies. And that's what I looked like, just a girly girl.
She's way different now.
I mean, I dress like a 15-year-old dresses now. I wear hoodies and jeans and sneakers. Metal shirts. And
I've corrupted her.
He did. I'm wearing my Wednesday 13 shirt right now. I haven't worn it in a while, and I was like, oh, I'll pull this baby out. But
pussy killer.
But it was great that he just shared things with me that he knew I would either at least appreciate, because I liked metal, but I also you got to remember, this is when the internet was a baby, and you only got, like, there wasn't just this access that people have nowadays. Like, you just kind of had to really, like, he used to subscribe to all these magazines and stuff, and he would share things with me, and some stuff I still am not a huge fan of, but, like, I appreciate all of the songs, and that's
the thought behind it.
Exactly. He would always, like, burn me CDs to play in my car, and he'd put like "For Missy" or "For You, My Love," or just something cute on the outside in Sharpie, or he would get really creative and he would get blank jewel cases and print up his own album covers with the songs on the back. That was the best.
Yeah. Well, this track 3 is called "Chain of Fools," and this song
is
actually...
this the Aretha Franklin song?
I doubt it.
That's a song, though.
But this song lyrically is one that I always use when I got like cheating girlfriends and fucking fair weathered friends.
Wait a minute, that sounds like Aretha.
Well, I would have told me if it was Aretha Franklin. I doubt it. But you can always look up the lyrics for it and see if it is, but I doubt it. There's only one cover I'm aware of. But anyway, this is one that I always like to use against my enemies. This is called "Chain of Fools."
Alrighty. like that song too.
Hell yeah, man. Such a great album, great band.
I'm really glad that we do this because, again, as we've gotten older and we've, collected our favorite songs, we sort of mix things up, right? Like,
oh yeah,
we were like, okay, I'm gonna go here, here, and here, and just again, the way that the world listens to music now, it's Spotify, it's a mix of things constantly. I love that I'm sitting here with you listening to an album from beginning to end and really, I mean, don't you remember doing that when you were a teenager? Like, you'd buy an album and you'd put it on and with your friends.
All I did was just drive around.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember when Pantera released Cowboys from Hell, I just played the shit out of that and drove around fucking for hours.
I did the same thing with my friends with Korn's Life is Peachy. I recently confessed to DJ Anubis that I have a crush on Jonathan Davis. So if you're out there and you're willing, I'm here, Mr. Davis.
Mr. Davis.
Mr. Davis.
Dr. Davis.
And I think the part of that is because I feel lucky. I mean, I know, I don't know how people feel about Korn. Maybe it's just me that has a sweet spot in it. But I was with Korn from the beginning, so I felt such a connection to them.
Well, I think the funny thing is that, as I've seen over the last 20 years, is people metal fans in general become more open to different bands now. One thing that we always state is that, it's not like nu metal is like my preferred genre, but when it does come to that genre of bands I want to listen to, it's usually the OG. So, yes, I like Limp Bizkit, I like some of their stuff. I like Korn, I like Deftones, even though I like more later Deftones stuff that's more like post-rock.
You like Static X, but Static X is nu metal and industrial kind of combined.
Yeah. So, I mean, when I'm in the mood, I don't mind listening to that stuff at all. But... yeah, so I mean, but obviously thrash and death is more of my speed for the 90% of the time that I'm listening. Usually I just throw my phone on random and then even play classic rock, 80s rock, whatever.
We have fun when we play racquetball. We get our little speaker and just put his phone on random, and some of the shit, like one time it was Loverboy. I was like, yeah.
Turn me loose.
Turn me loose.
Well, anyway,
music is just great, isn't it?
It is. It's why we do this. We go back through different records that we really like and enjoy. I mean, one day you may hear us do Pink Floyd or something. Like, it's just, that's the way that we do this.
I mean, like, just like we did with some of the bands that, Who Are They? I had never listened to Who Are They.
And funny thing is,
and then we got to interview them.
That opened the door to interview them. Yeah, that was such a great time. Those guys are very cool. I really enjoyed talking to them, and
they were like, you guys, you really get our album. Yeah. We're like, yeah, we like, because I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get this vibe about this and that. And they're like, you totally get it. Oh my God. And they listened to the whole, like, the whole podcast, because we were just, but DJ Anubis, when he ranked it like it's one of his favorite albums the one year, and we try to keep up with them on Facebook and social media to see what they're working on. But again, like life, they have wives and kids, and they come together, and some of them like even work remotely. Like they'll send their parts to each other and then they mix it together. I mean, it's amazing what bands can do. So what's the next song that's on this list?
So track 4 is a song called Shadow Company, and let's get into it.
that was pretty badass. It was like...
Well, what I like about it is, like, especially at the beginning, it's almost like during that time there was a lot of bands on their records doing, like Metallica, Testament or whatever. They do these, like, acoustic openings with the guitar, and then, of course, at the end they have a little bit of bass action there closing it out.
It was funny. I was talking to one of my coworkers, and he's always kind of said the same thing about me that you have, and this is my buddy. I call him Lil TJ. He and I, like, when we left one place together and went to another place, and when he first started at my previous company, I mean, he's got to be like 17 years younger than me, so I always joke, I'm like, I could be your mom, and he just laughs, but I always have, like, looked out for him. And when he found out that I'm going to death metal concerts, and he finds out that I love all this, like, crazy, disgusting, things, and he's like, you look at her, and you're like, wow, she's just so, like, normal and chill. And then he said, I remember I was worried about playing some, like, Metallica Fade to Black while we were out in the warehouse one time, and then I find out she listens to, like, Cannibal Corpse. So it was just fun. Like, I really love, again, music, but I love just the whole idea of how bands can get, just as we just said, like, you can go from Metallica Fade to Black to, like, Master of Puppets or whatever, just like this. You got that super hyped up, like, the first song on this album is like, it's the hype machine. Right. And then you've got your banger, Mob Justice, and now you've got this, like, we're 4 songs in, right? And it's kind of like, all right, this is, like, the chill, we got the cool outro, all the, like...
Yeah, it just kind of changes it up a little bit.
I love that, and I feel like even if you're not a fan of quote-unquote new Metallica, because it just does prove, though, that musicians can... they're musicians. They can change.
Well, there's a funny story, and it's funny that you mentioned that. So, Dragon Force.
Yeah.
They actually just released a new record. I've never been the biggest Dragon Force fan, but that's because I'm not a big power metal guy outside of a certain few songs. But a few years ago, during COVID, a lot of these bands and musicians were doing stuff online.
Oh, yeah, they were doing, like, the Zoom, like, yeah.
Doing collaborations for covers and stuff. So... Anyway, I don't know how it got on the topic, but one of the guys from Dragon Force said, it's so easy to write a pop song, and then he started getting all this hate. And so they're like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about, man. Like, yeah, sure, you're talented, but, like, pop songs aren't easy to make. He said, hold that thought.
Hold my beer.
He said, literally in 10 minutes, he made a pop song right there. Just wrote it.
And who did he send it to?
Just for everybody. He played it right out. He was doing live. He's like, here, I'll write you one right now. And so, like...
That's like a musician. Like, that just proves he's a musician.
Yeah, so he really wasn't trying to hate on anybody, but he's like, pop music is there for a reason because it's easy to digest. Metal, like, people that know metal and in the metal scene, they understand it.
They got the complicated riffs.
It's a little more complex, I mean, even if you're a new metal person, like System of a Down, dude, those arrangements are very obscure and crazy. So, like,
it kind of reminds me, if you want to get into
Surge's singing, like, dude, that's hard to do.
Mm-hmm. And the style kind of reminds me, because it's kind of like chunky or like it gives me like a feeling, and this is like music nerdy, but like Baroque music, like Johann Sebastian Bach, like very, in Baroque music, they were really into the harpsichord. So it was like that.
Weird Al.
No. He's the accordion. No, the harpsichord is like a piano, but instead of like hitting the strings, it plucks the strings, and that's why you like when you watch Pirates of the Caribbean and they're like playing the piano, it kind of sounds like that piratey sound. And that's in Baroque music they did that a lot too, and that gives it that like chinky anyway.
Yeah.
So,
well,
yeah,
as you said,
nerding out.
The album's kind of like starting to
hit its stride.
Well, it's hitting its stride, but it's also starting to do some different things. Because now we're down to Holiday in Cambodia, which is a Dead Kennedys cover. Initially, when I heard this record, I thought this was original too.
No,
I just
not.
thought it was something fun they were doing. Because at the time, like
this is a huge, like, everybody covers this song.
Well, but
now.
see, I was never a punk fan, so I never was aware of the actual tune. And because I had heard like bands like Atrophy, or even if you take Anthrax with "I'm the Man," that's an original thing. Or Atrophy doing the Beer Bong song, like that's all original stuff. So when I heard this, I'm like, well, this is just probably them goofing off, having fun. But it turns out, obviously, it's a cover, and it's a pretty damn good cover. I still like playing it a lot. So. Here, I believe track 5 is Holiday in Cambodia.
All right.
All right.
So I was kind of saying to DJ Anubis, like, this is like the best cover of Holiday in Cambodia I think that I've heard personally. Now, I don't know if anybody else agrees, but I like the Dead Kennedys. I like punk. more than DJ Anubis, but I also like metal, and I like how they metaled it up. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just like a direct kind of rip-off. It was more like, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna still give it the same kind of like feeling. I'm gonna give it like this, you know how like a lot of times when you're slam dancing or skanking to punk, you still kind of feel that when they play it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Oh, hi.
All right, so going into track 6, this song is called Bad Blood, and from what I can tell from the lyrical content, it seems like it may be about Jack the Ripper.
Ooh, nice.
But because it does mention London at Bay and then also Ladies of the Night, so I'm assuming that this has a little bit to do with Jack the Ripper.
And I have never heard this song, so crank it.
Crank it!
Understand.
really into the Matthew McConaughey, aren't you?
Yeah, I've been using that a lot because you always make fun of me for doing all right.
All right.
So now I'm just doing it. All right, all right, all right.
What up, everybody? DJ Anubis here.
Yeah. My go-to. I'm not original. Let me tell you.
Yes, you are. That's your
my
saying.
thing.
Yeah,
that's my
I'm not. That doesn't make you unoriginal.
All right.
It just makes you you, and that's awesome because I love you.
Oh, God. Here we go. All right. So track 7 now.
Okay. What's the name of this one?
Clearly, this is about Vietnam because it's called Chasing Charlie. And as I said, the band itself sings a lot about war issues and topics and whatnot. So,
what I really found interesting about, I mean, it's not just this band, but specifically, they have a sound, and that is so corny. But they have when you hear them, you know it's them. Just like, you know what I mean? Like AC/DC.
Yeah,
you know it's
Coons
them.
has like a specific type of voice, so yeah. But, like Ozzy does and Peter Steele used to have, Dio, certain singers have their unique...
But it's not just the voice, it's the style of music, too. Like, they have a sound. It's just a whole cohesive unit that really makes the band complete.
Right.
Oh God, I sound. Let's listen to some more music. I gotta stop.
Here's Chasing Charlie.
Go with me,
love how we're like bitching about work still.
I know. What I've been doing, because we have our vacation scheduled for Maryland Death Fest, I have been taking and putting a little note to myself, like X amount of work days until vacation, X amount of work days. So
that's bad when you gotta like just start crossing off days till.
But it gives me the motivation not to strangle anybody. And this whole week, I was really, really shitty. And I'm not a shitty person. You know me. I'm.
You're usually very happy-go-lucky, and
I've been
people love that energy about you.
I've been in a shitty, shitty mood. I don't like when people can skate by and
not do their job,
and then expect me with technically what my position is titled to do some things for them when they're like 3 levels above me. Anyhow, I'm not going to get angry about that. So I've been saying to myself, like, I have been working like a dog. I have not taken hardly any time off. I took my birthday off. I genuinely got sick in January. You and I both did. But I still worked from home 2 days out of that week. And then that Monday after the funeral... after we found out about his passing, I can't remember which day it was that
Blake. Yeah.
I took the day off because I was just not in a good mental state and I had a really bad headache. But here's the thing, I've got like 80 hours of PTO stored up, so they're not going to say anything for me to take a personal day. So let's do the math. Between July and now, I've taken 3 personal days. 3.
And a lot of times you're still working.
And I still work usually when I'm... But I didn't...
Because people keep coming to ask you questions. They should know. They should either go to one of their bosses, which works with you, which you've been having issues with, but then they don't, so they come to you because you do know, but it's not your job.
It's not my job.
Yeah.
And the irritating thing for a long time, and I didn't know this, they had my personal cell phone listed in the company directory. Personal. And that's why I was getting personal phone calls from people. And I'm like, did I give you my phone number? Like, I was like, I couldn't remember. And then one guy told me, he's like, this is your personal cell? I was like, yeah. He's like, it's listed in the corporate directory. And I'm like, that's some bullshit. So I got that. It took a while, but I got that shit shut down as fast as I could. But that's why, like, I'm like, the month of December, I had off Christmas and December 29th. And you know it's true. I worked pretty much every single day. And that's why, like, I get irritated. I said something to the person today at work who I like, but is just the one, you know. We had this big, implementation, and homeboy goes on vacation like 2 weeks into it, and he was gone for 14 days, and then he got sick, and then his grandmother died, and all of these things compounded. I understand you are entitled, you're entitled to your PTO, but he is a manager, and he does not participate in all the things that I do. So I mentioned to him, I'm like, yeah, I'm just sorry I'm so crabby, because I have been really crabby to him, and I feel bad because he is a nice guy, but he's not good at his job. And I said, I've just been crabby this week, so I've been counting down the days to my vacation in May.
And this is why Thrash is important.
Exactly. And then he had the gall to tell me, he's like, oh crap, I have a vacation planned in May too. And I'm like,
too late. Me first.
I really, if anything happens,
she's gonna lose her shit.
Beyond, if anything happens, I'm gonna be like, that's it. I'm done. I am working to my title, not to my abilities anymore, and that will be.
So we will dedicate track 8 to Neko.
What is it? What is it called?
Mirror to Madness.
that sounds like me. What is up, everybody?
We are down to the last track, track 9.
Oh, this makes sense because that is like a perfect, let's get ready, let's get this party closed kind of.
Yeah, but it's different about this particular album is that the ballad is at the last song. But it's like one of the best songs I've ever heard, ballad-wise, lyrically. Pushes emotions with me a little bit, even though not everything kind of ties to me personally, because it's more again about losing somebody through war and stuff like that.
Are you gonna cry? You gonna squirt some?
Might squirt some. Might. Getting all choked up now. But yeah, we'll be back to talk about it after it, but just to get Neko's thoughts on the record as a whole. But this is called The Omen, and it's such a beautiful song, beautifully written. And again, one of my favorite tracks, especially when it comes to ballads from thrash bands. So here we go.
Life
That was beautiful.
Yeah. Very
Like,
pretty song.
really beautiful.
So overall, how do you feel about the record?
I love the record. Like, a lot. I didn't know they...
So you think it's worthy of me being my favorite of the band?
One of your classic
Classics,
reflections.
yes, classic, like a dill pickle.
I would like a dill pickle right now in my mouth.
Yeah, see, I shouldn't go down that road because this always happens.
What, my dirty
The
mind?
sexual innuendos.
Innuendos.
Yeah.
I absolutely enjoy doing this with you because, you know, there's something about... If the listeners out there don't realize, we were 100% podcast for like how many years?
Yeah, so...
And if you go back on our Podbean, you can go back years and years and listen to our podcasts.
Yeah, so I think I started this, like the audio portion, maybe 2017 or 18.
I feel like it was longer than that.
Well, no, I've had the radio since 2012, but it was more like a blog and then the radio, but... Then we kind of switched straight to podcasts, and we still had the radio going 24/7, but the podcast was more audio. And then we got the website around 2019, to which we then...
I'm trying to think. No, it was like 2020 or 2021.
Okay, so somewhere in that range, and then then we switched over to YouTube mainly. But this is kind of nice to kind of go back and still do audio and go through this type of records and stuff like that, and just have fun listening and talking about it and different stuff. We talk about different topics too, because things will, whenever you listen to music, sometimes it reminds you of things in your life or whatever. But it's just nice to go back and revisit these records in full. Like sometimes you can just say, "Hey, let's just play a couple tracks," but no, we like to play the whole thing and
I appreciate it.
And then you have stuff like the King Diamond one, where it's actually a story, and you can kind of have fun just talking about what he's thinking and the story.
And I don't know how many times I've listened to so many King Diamond albums front to back, and I remember...
Yeah, God forbid if we ever do a Ghost album, she's going to go nuts.
But see, I haven't kept up with Ghost in the last couple of years, so if we did the early stuff, I would be...
That's what I mean.
I was digging deep. I was studying the lyrics, and I was
went down the rabbit hole.
I went down the Ghost nerd hole, and I'm like, listen, I'm Catholic, or was formerly Catholic, and I went to catechism, and I understand all of these. This is what this means, and that's why he titled this, and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, where the fuck do you find these things? And I'm like, I'm just thinking about this, and I love a nice deep dive every now and then. And it's exactly what we did today. I never listened to this album front to back, ever. And I'm happy that we did. Because, number one, loved the cover of Holiday in Cambodia.
Yeah.
And I've never heard the, what was the final song's name?
The Omen.
Yeah, I've never heard the song The Omen at all. And you were right. It's hauntingly beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
If that's cliche, I know, but...
Nope. It's perfect, spot on how I feel about it. And it's touching. And
Is it as touching as Tiny Tears?
More touching than Tiny Tears, believe it or not.
Okay. All right,
That's
then.
something we've never done yet, is a Devin album. But
we haven't done a Devin
But I think
or
the next
Strapping
one we are
and-
going to do is one of you kind of batting around is the self-titled by Wasp. I think we're going to go hard rock
Can't
next.
I pick one?
What are we gonna? You can, but like
I'm going to pick a metal or rock album.
So yeah, we'll see what she comes up with. But if I don't feel it's classic, then what happens?
I cry.
She looks at me like. I mean, we'll see, because I know there's a lot. No, I mean you'll be able to pick, but like I might feel it is a classic record. That's my point. So. Yeah, because she likes a lot of stuff I do. I mean, she could say Painkiller, and that'd be a classic record. You know what I mean? But too easy, right? Too easy.
No, I was gonna dig deep. But
dig deep, then. I'd be curious. Dig deep.
I'm thinking like maybe the Wisconsin Death Trip or Korn's first album. Those are two like meaningful albums to me, and
well, both are classic, but I'd probably lean more towards the self-titled by Korn. That one's I mean, technically, the first three are great records, but that first one...
Those first three albums I played on fucking repeat, non-stop, before I even met you. Like, because this came out in the early 90s to 98. So,
right.
I mean, like, the other reason, like, the Wisconsin Death Trip, like, really spoke to me, as I say. But there is a book called The Wisconsin Death Trip.
Based off of murder or something else.
No. So the book is more like photojournalism, and what happens, you got to think back in the day before there was like central heating and everything. It gets so cold and so dark during winter that people went fucking crazy in those Midwestern areas.
Well, that didn't shock me.
And the Wisconsin Death Trip is a photojournalism type, like, deep dive study of what was going on back in the day. And there were people, yes, murders. There were just children dying from cold, starvation, etc. And this book
says Wisconsin Death Trip charts a myriad of numerous grim and bizarre occurrences. I think we're going to do that because that is very interesting, like just topic-wise.
And I've been trying to find that book.
Yeah.
And it was a very limited print. So that's what makes it even more cool and obscure, because at Static X, their very first album, decided to take this obscure photojournalistic book and name it their album. And then I remember on the front, look up the Wisconsin Death Trip.
I see it. Yeah.
So they take like a picture from the book Wisconsin Death Trip and put it as their album cover. I don't know why they did that. I've never really looked and decided why they did that, but
yeah, just by judging some of the the Wikipedia information, like it's got a lot of interesting key points. Like I love the Korn album a lot, but I think for topic discussion, this will be kind of fun to dive into because I don't think. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't think all the songs really apply to this topic, but it is something that Static X used as their name of the album.
It's kind of like maybe their inspiration. Maybe they took this book and all the unusual things that happened and turned it into an industrial, like, you know. So that's kind of why I know it's both of those are Korn's album and Static X's album are their first albums, and they both hold very deep places in my heart. But I really I want that book, The Wisconsin Death Trip, and every time I look it up or try to find it, I don't think it's in print anymore. It was only available in hardback, and it is...
Yeah, it came out in 1973.
Mm-hmm. So I really am interested because you can go online and look at the pictures and read the stories, but it's just something that somebody took the time back in 1973 where there was no internet and you had to use the card catalog and microfiche to find these stories out. That author took the time to do the research is like, okay, why is it during like October to April there are so many deaths, and why did this happen? And the thing that, because again I've seen a lot of the pictures on the internet.
Well, let's save that for the top.
Well, final thoughts is I don't understand why, and again, early film was a lot different than, you know, we can take a digital picture and take 8,000 pictures. Film used to be like a chemical reaction. And, you know, you would take pictures for a very specific reason, especially turn of the century, 1900s. There were so many photos of funerals and caskets of children in this book. And it blew my mind. Again, I don't have the book. I saw photos on the internet of this, and it's almost like because they used to have to do the long exposure and their eyes are still open, and then there's babies, and I'm like,
haunting.
It's very creepy, and that kind of gives some of the Static X, you know, sound a little bit creepy, a little bit industrial, a little bit like hyped up. So I'm wondering what kind of information I can find about Static X's influence from the Wisconsin Death Trip. So that was my...
All right.
You like that? Is that kind of interesting?
Yep. That
all right,
sounds
cool.
like a good one to go with.
Well, I am really happy that we talked about Laaz Rockit, and I'm really happy I listened to the whole album because, again, never have. I've didn't know about Laaz Rockit until I met you. That's how sad this is. So I am happy that we did this, and I'm really happy that we're podcasting again. And
hope you all enjoyed this.
I enjoyed it.
Because great record. I know a lot of the diehard metalheads will enjoy the record. So give us your thoughts.
Yes,
I'm gonna
please.
get this up on YouTube, of course, and then you can listen to it at your leisure. And then just let us know how you feel with the record. Is it your favorite record of their catalog, or do you have others?
Do you like Laaz Rockit? Have you heard of Laaz Rockit? Or are you like me when I met DJ Anubis in 2002 and I'm like, who is it? What is this? What?
Anyway, we will see you next time here on the
Yes.
Metal Time Radio podcast. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
See ya.